our cameras are wonky again. There we go. Now they're back. All right. Hi, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Tickfaw Files. We're going to get started here in just a minute. But first, I want to introduce our players and go over some of the things that that you can do as viewers to interact with the game as well. So first off, one of the ways that you can interact with the game is through the game tweet, which is now right there in chat for every 5 interactions with that, and that includes comments, retweets, and likes. There will be a D4 given to the cast and to the DM. The cast can use that on any roll to boost their numbers to try and get ahead. And then the GM can also use those to make our rolls lower if she wants to at any point. You can also interact with the game through guild coins, which are found right below the Twitch chat box, that little round rainbow colored token. Those are called guild coins, and you get those just for watching the stream, interacting in chat and things like that. Anyways, there's a few different things that you can do there that are pretty cool, like making a cast member rhyme for 5 minutes, placing a non-weapon, non-magic, non-expensive item, so just a random, simple object in the game. That one's been a lot of fun. And then if you save a bunch of guild coins, you can actually give anyone a single-use magic item, which is kind of cool. So yeah, those are the free ways that you can get involved. If you would like to help support the channel financially, there's a number of things that you can do there as well. All of those can be found sort of over here, right in the middle. Most of those are pretty self-explanatory. You can give us a D6. The switches are allows one person to make another person change their action word. So for example, if somebody's bard was going to seduce the barmaid, somebody could throw out a switch and say, do something else. And it can't be a direct synonym, so the player has to figure out something other than seduce to do with the barmaid. It can be pretty fun. The borrowed success is an automatic success at whatever you're trying to do, but I'll make rolls periodically throughout the game whenever another skill check is made by that player. And if a certain number comes up, then that is the success that they borrowed. So anytime you use that, there's a chance that you could automatically fail in the future. Complication, you can throw in anything at all that you want into the game, and we just all have to deal with whatever it is. And then finally, the Phoenix Astra is a safety net for a player. So anytime that character would die or go to 0 hit points, instead they go to 1 hit point, so that they don't actually die right then. So if there's a character that you particularly like that you really don't want to see die, that's a great way to ensure that they stay in the game. All of that can be done through coffee.com/Raven, raven.rocks, like you see there at the bottom of the chart. Also through subscriptions, bits on Twitch. And another way that you can do it is through Patreon subscriptions. If you are a Bard or higher subscriber on Patreon, you get a certain number of credits each month to spend on all of these shows. The lowest one is starts at a $15 credit, so they're pretty cool, and you can use that at any point as well. With all that out of the way, we're going to do some player introductions and then jump into the game. We usually go counterclockwise. I'll start with myself. I'm Raven. I am a tabletop streamer, professional game master, and tabletop game designer. I also do writing, editing, voiceover acting, and graphic and composite art. You can find me here Monday through Saturday, with the exception of Thursdays. Usually, this season once a week, and starting next season it'll be twice a week. Or twice a day rather, once a day and twice a day. Anyways, I'm playing Dr. Tilda Jenkins. She's a professional librarian and museum curator. So currently she's working on a special project to restore a bunch of books that were found in a sort of Civil War era plantation in Louisiana. And she's trying to restore a lot of these pre-Civil War books. So that's kind of her project and how she got involved in this whole mess. With that, we're going to pass it on to Riley. Riley, tell us a little bit about Jonas and yourself.
Hi, I'm Riley. I'm a knit and crochet designer. I play Jonas, who is he's kind of a wanderer. He's a drifter. He had run-ins with the supernatural and things like that when he was a lot younger. So ever since he's come back to the real world, he's been searching and chasing after that, and like a start of like this big war that he thinks is going to happen. So that's how he kind of got mixed up in all this. He's chasing after weird things.
Okay. And then Yasmin, tell us a little bit about Savoy and yourself.
I am playing Savoy, who is kind of a stick up his butt, her butt, whatever their butt kind of person. Very tight lace, get the job done, but also has their body shared with a fae character, a changeling, so to speak, that makes them a little crazy. And they seem to have a really hard time trying to control each other. And that's been really fun so far. And I'm Yasmin, and I am a graphic illustrator and artist. And you can find me on Twitter at ytatianaart as my username.
Fantastic. And then Vanessa, do we have you here?
I can, pop in for a second. I'm currently outside with the dog. We're trying to go back to the house, so I apologize if there's any wind sounds.
No worries.
I am the resident Canadian of the party. I am primarily a watercolor artist. And I play a character named Mira, and that is not her real name, of course, but that is what she tells people that it is. She is a businesswoman. She tries to keep to herself most days, but she has some dark secrets that will eventually crack out into the open, I'm sure. But yeah, for now, she's just the resident business lady.
All right, perfect. And then last but not least, our game master, Rowan.
Hold on a second. Apparently Twitch says that I'm logging in from a new location. It's literally the same computer. What is this? Okay. Apparently the Twitch has confused a whole bunch of things. All right. I'm Rowan North. I'm a freelance illustrator and art educator. I am the GM. And with that, why don't we get started? Short and sweet and to the point. So last time, Tilda got hurt and is in recovery, is now staying in a room in Savoy's plantation home. Family plantation home, right?
With lots of great drugs.
Yes.
Not to be confused with the plantation home that is being restored, mind you.
Yes, those are two separate ones. There's one that's in the kind of bayou swamp area, and then there is Savoy's personal home. So that's a good note. So finally the gang is all together. Mira joined them looking for a book that a mysterious voice said that he needed. And it led her to the party. Savoy had all of her servants bring her childhood toys for some reason to offer the goblins as a sacrifice.
Which Savoy wasn't really happy about, but, sacrifices must be made.
Apparently. But Mira has offered to lead them to the goblins and see if that gives them information about the situation. Tilda is staying behind, but they have you on speed dial, correct?
Yeah, I think we set up like a video conferencing thing or something, so that Tilda can see what's going on when they need Tilda.
Yes.
Savoy had essentially patched Tilda into like a camera on themselves, just to kind of keep Tilda in the know, so that if something was spotted that they might not necessarily think of, Tilda could chime in immediately.
Yes. That was the most random thing ever. Rowan just in chat said, "Does anyone else lick the powder off a chip and then eat the chip?"
I tried to say that earlier before the whole confirmation code snafu. So, and now it decides to send.
It's like, all right, we're gonna go find the goblins. Hey, does anybody else lick the powder off a chip first?
Rowan,
These are the questions
yes.
that keep me up at night.
Yes.
Yes, to answer that question, yes.
Yes,
so-
good. I am not the only
yeah.
one.
Tilda's the high one, not the game master.
I'm sick. I have an excuse. I'm just gonna say all the goblins have allergies. So,
And really good shrooms.
anyways, oh my gosh, real good shrooms. Anyways, so Mira, where do you take everyone? Like, I assume you're leading
Sorry.
the way.
Yeah,
Are you
just
still-
1 second. Yeah, it's just 1 second. Hold on, sorry.
No worries.
I
Is
can't
there
say
anything
that
else everyone? Huh?
I can't say that I lick the powder off of a chip before I eat it. I do that. Kind of do that with Oreos.
Oh my goodness.
You heathen.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. So is there anything else everyone does to prepare to see the
Savoy
goblins?
refills their flask.
Oh goodness.
Make sure that
Do not let
they're
Jonas.
Jonas, this isn't even alcohol. Make sure that their cartridge of cigarettes is full. Their little cigarette case is full, so that they can relieve stress.
Okay,
This is
I
the
have returned.
important stuff. Welcome, friend.
Thanks. Sorry about that.
No worries.
All right, I'm settled in my room. What was the question? Sorry.
So Mira is leading the way to find the goblins. Where
She is.
do you take them?
She takes
I-
them back to where she knows for sure that she saw one. So in that little cleared out spot with all the broken trees and all that shit. That good stuff.
That good shit.
That mwah, chef kiss. Good shit.
Good shit. So I assume you're just there in like the passenger seat with Savoy.
Savoy's definitely driving because nobody touches Savoy's car but Savoy.
Well, it's
That's
a good
okay, we
thing
don't
that
even
Mira
know-
doesn't want to drive.
Well, we've established OOC that who the heck taught Mira how to drive anyways. So
I believe I do have an answer to that question.
oh yes.
Yeah, I would assume that she just tricked a human into doing it and then forgetting. So weekly driving sessions, unbeknownst to this human who goes about their life afterwards.
Never knowing
That's
that they
funny.
taught a crazy lady how to drive.
Crazy lady.
I'll accept it. Carry on.
I would
Nice.
assume that it wasn't just driving lessons. It might have been some donations, blood donations.
Well, you know,
Amazing.
probably. Okay, yeah.
So,
So
you human, teach me how to human. All right.
exactly. But apparently not how to use the App Store, but it's okay.
It's fine.
You give a little, you get a little. That's all.
So Mira leads the way to a location where kind of in between, like on the way to town, where in the first episode she found where the trees were knocked over and crushed. So, I mean, you all have seen the signs of the ogre at this point.
Yes.
Do you guys, like, get out of the car? Are you hesitant after
I
having
mean,
some run-ins?
Maybe not hesitant, but definitely alert.
Sounds good.
Can I go ahead and roll for that?
Roll investigate mystery, yes. Anyone who wants to.
That's sharp, right?
Yes, it is. That does remind me, I should bring that up.
I got an 8. I got
My laptop is coming on. I don't remember what my sharp stat is. Where are my dice?
Oh, we can look that up for you.
Yeah.
Yes, please.
Your
Your sharp is a -1.
Of course it is. That's okay. It's still an 11.
Dang you.
Nice.
Hot damn. So 8 for Savoy. You got 6, Jonas?
Yeah, so I failed. I get experience.
Yes. And then 11
Hell yeah,
from
get
Mira.
that experience.
All right. So you all are prowling about. I would say that you guys are kind of supporting each other on this one. And Mira, like, you know what to look for. You know what these goblins smell like. You know what
Not
approximate
very
size
good,
they are.
mind you.
They don't smell good, eh? I imagine they smell like, do you know those mom vans that they all have preschool
Yes.
kids, and it smells
No.
like old crackers and stale food and
I had to drive one of those for work.
oh gosh. Oh god.
But yes,
So
it smells like that.
yeah, that's what goblins smell like.
That smells like Teen
Blech.
Spirit.
Oh no. So
Not today, man.
Mira, you see footprints all around the area, kind of leading the way into the woods where the goblins supposedly went, because you remember it scampering off. You also seem to notice like little claw marks on the trees that aren't knocked over.
Yeah, that makes sense considering one of them dropped on me.
Yeah. So you know that they spend a lot of time in the trees. Jonas, while you're investigating, you see these claw marks, or you're kind of putting your hand against the tree as you explore around, and it breaks and falls towards you. Let me see if there's a roll you can take to try to dodge it, but this isn't like D&D. Roll dodge! No. Roll act under pressure.
Okay.
That is what cool.
That's cool.
Mhm.
9.
All right, that's mixed success. You managed to move out of the way. However, the sound from it, like you hear the forest around you grow quiet. So if you guys were expecting an element of surprise, there's definitely not one now.
I'm sorry, I was eating a Pringle. What dropped? Sorry.
Jonas's balls dropped. I mean, what?
More important
Oh my
question,
God.
did you lick the powder off of your Pringle before you ate it?
Damn it! No, I didn't. But you know what? They're plain Pringles. I'd be more inclined to do that if they were like flavored, but not the salty ones. No.
Who the hell eats plain Pringles? Anyways.
Me? Hello,
I do.
ma'am.
I like plain Pringles.
Thank you. Also, my mom gave them to me, so I'm not gonna tell her to shove her Pringles somewhere. Like, it's a gift, thank you, ma'am.
Your Pringles are not good enough.
You don't refuse Pringles that are a gift.
Like, fine, I'll eat your plain Pringles and I'll like them. All right.
I do like plain Pringles.
So it was the tree, like a broken tree that had fallen over towards.
Okay, that makes
All right.
more sense. Yeah. Carry on.
So, yeah. Jonas, you managed to avoid it, but there's definitely a stillness to the force now that there wasn't necessarily before. So any element of surprise you may have had, whatever's out there is more wary. Okay. So, Mira, you managed to pick up sort of a trail, or at least have a general idea of where this thing must have gone. It's obvious that they went deeper into the woods.
Mm-hmm.
What time of day do you guys think it is at this point?
I thought it
Just
was
out
like
curious.
afternoon.
Yeah.
Okay, so not dark at all. It's still decently light, but you're getting to those closer to those twilight hours. Okay. So around 3 or 4.
Question: Are we on an active call with Tilda, or are you
Yes.
calling when you need help?
No, we are on an active call with Tilda.
Okay. So.
No, fuck you, Tilda. No, I'm kidding.
Might still be a little bit high. Pretty sure I just heard this voice say "fuck me." Like fuck you, Tilda. Not. Anyways, what just
Tilda,
happened?
You're projecting. Something fell on Vanessa. I mean, on Mira.
Who's? Okay.
On Jonas.
Yeah, it's all
Is
Jonas.
Yeah.
Is everybody?
It's out of it today, apparently.
I don't think Tilda's the only one on drugs here, okay?
Is everybody okay?
Yes, we're all fine.
Okay.
I just get the impression we might have just spoiled our element of surprise.
Okay.
Mira is like shaking her head over where she is and like pinching the bridge of her nose. Like, y'all are really getting on her nerves.
It wasn't my fault.
Okay, so are you guys okay if we keep going? Just proceeding with caution?
Yep, we just take it slow.
Okay.
Okay.
Mira sighs and she becomes very still. She tries to listen very hard for anything that still might be there.
So with your investigative mystery, you don't necessarily really hear anything, but the lack of sound is telling.
Mm-hmm.
Regardless, you have a general sense of a trail. It's definitely deeper in the woods, towards the river. I mean, you're a decent ways away from like where the river truly intersects with Springfield,
mm-hmm.
but the cypress forest is pretty thick in this area. So, you can tell from broken limbs of the trees, including like fresh breaks. You can tell where the moss has been messed with. You can tell from the claw marks on the trees and how fresh they are. Goblins frequent this area, not just the one that you ran into. From your guesstimation, you'd say it's a good little troop of them. And by yes, that is the way. You've got a parliament of owls. You've got a troop of goblins.
Of course. Yeah. She goes ahead and doesn't even check to make sure everybody's following her. She just goes.
I think I'm gonna use my little library here to do some research to investigate a mystery about goblins to see if I know how many are typically in a troop. Like, do they set traps, that sort of thing.
Okay. Go ahead and roll investigate mystery.
Okay. I'm gonna use my lore libraries. I'll take a +1 forward. So +1. Sweet, so that's a 9.
All right, big success. So you first off, you find out that yes, they are called a troop of goblins, especially if you go off what the description Jonas has said, not just the D&D goblins that you'll find fairly often.
Mm-hmm.
By Jonas's description, you're able to kind of hone in on what you're exactly looking for. But you learn that they are called troops because oftentimes they will play music in a group or things like that. It's as if they were calling it like a circus of goblins. Makes sense. So you know that in a circus of goblins, in a troop of goblins, usually it ranges from at smallest 3, at most usually 7. If there was 7, or if there was multiple troops, probably there would be a lot of things that would have gone missing in town, because they tend to be very klepto. So you get the feeling like it's only really one troop that we're dealing with here.
Okay.
But it seems like they tend to decorate their hidey holes with objects that they have stolen or things that they find pretty, almost like how ravens will line their nest with shinies to attract a mate.
Okay.
So even though you cannot follow sounds and they're being more cautious, no doubt you will start finding the decorum of the troop of goblins.
Okay. Okay. Tilda's
Do you share this information?
not at the moment, no. Tilda's just sort of like researching and taking notes for now.
So on the video call, you're just hearing clack, 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 clack.
Yep, you're hearing.
And Savoy's just like kind of makes a face that nobody else can see and keeps going.
Scribble, scribble, scribble. Oh, that's interesting. Okay.
Tilda, are you going to enlighten us?
Huh?
Are you going to enlighten us?
I mean, that might take a while. I mean, there's
Can you
lots of
condense it?
Well, there's lots of cultures that, go a lot of different ways with enlightenment. Are you looking for like a Buddhist type thing,
Oh my
or
god. Tilda, what are you hoeing and humming about in regards to what we're doing right now?
Oh, you want my advice on like where you're at?
Yeah.
Okay.
Savoy's already lit a cigarette.
Is something on fire? I see smoke.
It's me. It's fine. Disregard it.
If you're on fire.
Do we add that to the counter of how many times people have hit on Savoy?
I don't
was
know.
gonna
I
ask
think
the same
I think
thing.
that's sort of an out of character flirt with the in character character. So I'm not sure that
God
that counts.
is now flirting with Savoy.
Yeah. So Savoy's like, or Savoy. Tilda's like, okay. So, the goblins, they're called troops, but not like soldier troops. They're like actor troops. Um. Anyways, there's like 3 to 7 of them, and there's probably only one. But you'll probably see like shiny things. They're like freaking magpies. Um, I don't know why I said frickin'. I never say frickin'. These drugs are weird. Anyways, they're like magpies, and words are hard. Yeah, you'll probably be fine, but there's like 3 to 7 of them, and probably not more, or we'd see a lot more stolen and missing things around the
Okay,
city.
so we're
thing.
looking for a shiny, and I would assume that everybody else can hear Tilda as well.
Do you have them on speaker? Because I mean that's the obvious one.
I mean, I would like to assume that Savoy gave everybody an earbud that is able to patch into the same network, but that's
Also,
discretion to the DM.
I mean it's 2040, so I mean that would make sense that kind of technology would exist, right?
That's what I was thinking.
Tilda's gonna give the advice of watch out for shiny decor around to see when you're getting close. So
They're all
Can
just
we
wearing
lure them
earphones.
out?
if
Like, we
you
have the
do
toys.
if you do take that advice, you'll get +1 ongoing while following it.
Okay.
And I also get XP.
Well done. I mean, you guys have already kind of investigated, but
Also, Rowan.
so sure enough,
Rowan, you were the worst.
why? What? Yes.
With chat.
I'm like, what are you even talking about?
Quick question for Michael. I saw the upgrade to a D4, upgrade D4 to a D6. Thank you very much. Is that to the cast or to the DM? And just let me know in chat. Rowan. Rowan,
No.
focus!
No. You asked the question. I can type more. I took the opportunity. I took it. Anyways,
Yes.
so sure enough, you guys start seeing things hanging from the tree. That sounds super morbid, but just like little ribbons and string and jewelry and doll heads.
Looks like we're getting closer.
Stuffed animals and trash can lids and
There's definitely some weird little magpies.
broken bottles tied up with string.
These are a
and
few
they
of my
make a
favorite things.
beautiful. But
That was amazing. I give that a solid 9 out of 10.
Thank you, thank you.
and not my magpie stuff. Rude.
I give that one a 2.
Aww.
Ah,
These are not some of Raven's favorite things.
I'm the magpie. Anyway, duh. All right.
Rowan knows I'm not a huge fan of that song.
She doesn't like it when people rhyme words with themselves. Themselves? When themselves.
I will give you this. Yours is somewhat better because it doesn't rhyme guy with guy 50 million times.
It kind of does. Anyways, so yeah, broken bottles tied up, and they catch the wind and make chiming noises. I would like all of you, except for Tilda, you're not actually physically there, to roll act under pressure.
Oh God.
Is that cool?
9 again
It's cool.
for Jonas.
If I
You
lose
cool,
this
fam?
roll, do I
Aw.
switch?
Do you switch?
Because act under pressure activates Zahil also.
Then yeah,
But it's usually in regards to magic or anger. But anytime Savoy loses their cool, which I rolled a 5,
I will give you the option basically. Like
okay.
I mean Zahil Zahil came out fairly recently.
Yeah.
So it's up to you whether Zahil comes out or not. This is definitely
Okay.
more of a action as opposed to me asking you to roll cool.
Excellent.
So all right.
I got an
So-
8.
You rolled anyways, Tilda, huh?
Huh? No.
Oh no? Okay.
The 9
That was
was
the previous
for
one?
the previous one, yeah.
Okay.
So for we're missing a Mira roll on the
8.
Yeah, Mira.
That was an
8?
8 from
Okay.
me.
Fabulous. All right. So altogether, you guys got a mixed success. I would say. So Savoy, you didn't lose
Totally
horribly.
Lose my cool.
However, so you guys are kind of walking along. You're starting to get cautious because this is clearly the magpie's nest. You're walking along, and Mira and Jonas, you both kind of sense like something's weird, especially with how the ground's laying, and you both kind of move out of the way. But Savoy, you were more focused on the chiming of the bottles as they hit each other and sway in the wind,
God
and
damn
you
it,
get caught
Savoy.
up in a net.
Oh no!
It goes,
Oh boy.
So
Fuck. Cigarette falls out of hand.
remember
snuffed out.
when I said to look out for traps?
I don't want to hear it, Tilda.
Okay.
So, yeah. So you get caught up in the net. What do the rest of you do? Like, do you
Jonas-
help?
He's gonna
Mira
pull
does
out
not
his,
help.
He's gonna pull out his combat knife.
Samira
and then
laughs at
he-
you. Okay.
He's gonna pull out his combat knife and then head towards Savoy and then kind of look back at Mira and then back at Savoy and say, or should we just leave them there as bait?
That gets a response from Mira. She looks, for the first time, she looks very amused at Jonas.
Savoy doesn't look amused at all. I will not be left as bait.
No,
I
we'll be
swear to
right
God.
here.
Well,
We'll just be
I-
right here.
you know that there might be something to that because they like pretty things, and Savoy's pretty. So,
Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god.
And
Oh my god.
who
Oh
else
my
is
god.
in the
Oh my
net?
god.
Wasn't it somebody else that got caught up
Just
as well?
Savoy.
Just Savoy. Okay. Yeah, they're not very shiny, but still, I think it could work.
And Mira, you definitely did notice bells ring as the net closed, just chiming. Like, you notice these strings just leading from branch to branch, ringing bells as they go, as if alerting, like, oh, look, there's prey.
Mira motions for Jonas to kind of duck into a bush.
Yeah.
And she disappears into whatever foliage that she can step back into.
Jonas jumps into the bush, and as he does, he looks back at Floyd. He's like, I'm so sorry.
No, you're not.
I am. I'm so sorry. I really hope we can still be friends, but I really think this might be our best option, so I'm sorry. I will make it up to you. I promise. Goodbye. I'm going to be quiet now.
There's just like a tinkling little laugh from the bush that Mira is hiding in.
I hate you all.
All right. So things are quiet for a while. And then the tree branches, especially like the ones with bells, the ones with bottles, they start shaking a little, rustling. And you start hearing, Savoy, and I guess the rest of you, you start hearing some whispering. It's like, is just a little one? You don't know who's listening. If it's just one, we don't have to worry about anyone listening. Can we eat it? It's a human. I don't think they taste very good.
Savoy just makes a growling noise.
Ooh, it's feisty. It's feisty.
Savoy and I almost willingly give into Zahil.
What do? We can't just leave it. Can we leave it? No, humans are smart. He'll get away. But we can't just let him go. You know, we're here. Let's fuck you with a stick. What?
Hey, no, I can hear you.
All of a sudden, you see two almost like children. They look like children. Two perching on the branch above you where the net is kind of tied up to, and then two kind of hop down below you.
Is the holes in the net wide enough to reach through?
Yes, but barely. You kind of have to angle your arm through it. And granted, when it's tight, that makes it a bit harder as opposed to slack, but you know.
Savoy will not do that. Savoy just makes a really angry face at them. What are you going to do with me?
The goblins on the tree branch above you, they kind of look at each other and they shrug. And the ones below, one of them picks up a stick and starts poking.
Hey, no, don't. Jesus. Okay, why are you here? This is my land. I don't think you guys belong here. And Savoy tries to like put an antagonizing tone in
So
their
are
voice.
you trying?
I'm trying to get them riled up.
Are you trying to manipulate someone?
A little bit, yeah.
Then roll manipulate someone. Roll plus charm.
Okay. Woo!
Ooh, that's a success. All right. So they'll do what you want as long as you reward them as promised. Well, I guess it's a manipulating monster, so so what exactly are you trying to get them to do?
I want them to get mad enough to drop the net.
Okay. All right.
Essentially, like, cut me down and confront me.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's roleplay this out then. So
Leave it out of you, girl.
So basically, they're like, "What do you mean? It was our land first. Hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years ago.
No, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years ago, it was my family's land, and I am the sole remaining heir to that land. So therefore, it's my fucking land.
Well, it's our land now. We put our feet here. We put our foots here.
My
So
family's foots have been here
I pissed on
longer
the
than
tree.
yours.
I pissed on the tree. I pissed on the tree. It means the tree.
You know what? I will piss on you, and then you will be mine, and you will have to serve me. How do you feel about that?
You wouldn't. You wouldn't. You wouldn't. You wouldn't. You wouldn't piss on poor Gimli, would you? You wouldn't piss on poor Gimli?
It's the voice
I
almost
want to
like
see her. I want to see her piss on you. I want to see her piss on you. I want to see her piss on you. Okay. If I let you down, will you piss on Gimli? Will you piss on
Yes.
Gimli?
I will. And Savoy
Don't let her
kind
down,
of
don't.
stops, and it's almost like Savoy's listening to that voice that's not there, that nobody else can hear.
Yeah.
Yes, I will piss on them.
Don't let him down. Don't let him down. That'd be bad. But they could piss on Gimli. It'd be so funny. Oh, wouldn't it be funny for Gimli? Shut up, Gimli. Nobody cares about you.
Yeah, nobody cares about Gimli.
So they pull out the one with like long, almost green, licheny hair. It has like curling horns that are a bit of a lighter green with like moss growing on it, and she's kept like little flowers on her hair and things. She pulls out basically a bone knife and starts sawing away at the rope. Gimli's kind of throwing a fit. It's like, no, you will not pee on Gimli. No, you will not pee on Gimli.
I will.
Humans pee
As
is
soon as
toxic.
I get out of here, I will pee on
It's
you.
toxic.
Oh, there
my,
we go.
my skin will melt. My skin will melt. What?
I think I pressed the mute button. Savoy, I can't condone peeing
Who's that?
on
Who's that?
things.
Who's that? Who's that?
I don't think they
It's-
understand property
It's a magic
ownership.
fairy voice. It's a magic fairy voice. Just ignore it. You should cut me down so I can pee
You're
on
not-
Gimli.
You're not a fairy. You're a human.
I beg to differ. I have two faces. One is a human face, and one is a fairy face. And there is a fairy in my ear. And they, Savoy points to the earbud in their ear.
I wanna hear your fairy. What does an ear fairy sound like? I want to see what an ear fairy sounds like.
You have to let
must
me
feel
out. No. You have to let me out.
If we let you out, you will let us listen to ear fairy,
Yes.
and you'll pee on Gimli.
Yes.
Gimli's like, no, you will not pee on Gimli. So she finally she manages to get it, and then the rope snaps, and it crashes to the ground.
And
That looked painful.
You probably
Alright.
sprawl out not so gracefully, but
I'm sorry to interrupt, but there's a trend on Twitter that says pooping for Caitlin, and I have no idea why. But I think we should just make the hashtag pissing for Gimli.
Yeah, Vanessa, I'll explain it when you're older.
Okay. So it's trending in Canada. I have no idea why.
is this some sort of two girls, one cup thing? Or
No, it's an American political thing. It's weird.
Which
I don't know why
explains why
it's-
I wouldn't care.
Yeah,
why is it
It's like-
trending
it's-
in Canada?
I don't know. It's like a gun rights thing.
Oh, okay. Well, it's probably trending in Canada because Canadians are probably having a field day with it. So
Probably.
Oh, Canada.
I see what you did there. I give that one a 5.
what did I do? I honestly didn't do anything.
No,
Not you.
Rowan.
Oh,
Rowan went,
okay.
oh, Canada.
Oh.
Oh, Canada.
So
It's not funny if I have to explain it.
It wasn't funny anyway.
Oh,
All right.
It's the national anthem.
hold on a second,
Riley,
hold on
Riley, and
a
Rowan,
second.
you're gonna have to turn your cameras off.
I'm Jonas now.
Dang it.
I am the
Alright.
true Jonas
Rowan
now.
first, I think.
I am now the GM. I am God.
So you need me to go first? Okay.
Yeah. Okay. No,
Hello,
never
I'm
mind.
here.
Never...
Oh, fine.
Okay, Riley first. Now Rowan. Yay!
Don't know what happened there, but okay.
It's just somebody using their guild coins to suddenly make Riley the game master.
Oh, jeez. Oh, jeez.
You will now switch places for 5 minutes.
Maybe I
Okay,
should add that into
so-
guild coins, just like for some ungodly amount of guild coins. You can make somebody else
10,000
the
gold
DM
coins means
for
that one
like
of the
2
players gets
minutes.
the GM for 5 minutes.
Yeah. Like a Freaky
That's
Friday
funny.
type situation.
That would be
Anyway.
hilarious.
So Savoy is on the ground.
Yeah, Savoy's on the ground.
Right, what are
Let's
we
get back to the. So Savoy has landed in a heap with all the net and rope. It's a bit of a trick to
Muddy.
kind of untangle yourself. The two goblins on the tree hop down beside the net, and
Is it
the
muddy?
girl, huh?
Is it muddy?
Yes.
Fuck, this was Italian. Ugh.
Yeah.
Italian?
Because Savoy's wearing essentially a suit.
Ah.
I'd probably have that dry cleaned.
What's an Italian? Wow. I bet it sounds like they ate the tally. What does that even mean?
It's a big spooky monster that makes clothing.
Oh, wait, spooky monster makes like the spider? We got our
Yeah.
silks from the spider. The
Exactly.
big.
That's what the Italian is. A giant, scary spider that makes clothing.
The amount of
Ooh.
incorrect information passing here is making me
Shut
feel
the
worse.
the girl goblin who has like the long hair, and you notice that it's like tied back with like a little pastel bow near her butt because she's got so much hair. She actually reaches out and snatches the earpiece from your ear, and she's like, "Hello, ear
Put it-
fairy."
Put it in your ear.
I think my ear's too big for it. She's got like a little pointy ear, so
Hold on. Let me get out of this. I'll show you. And Savoy kind of like crouches next to her and hands.
and Gimli literally backs up towards the bushes. Probably towards the bush that Mira's in, I'd say. It's like, no pee on Gimli! No pee on Gimli!
Fairies first, and then I'm peeing on you. That was the agreement.
No pee on
Yeah.
Gimli. No pee on Gimli. Gimli will
So-
pee on you first.
Savoy puts their hand out to ask for the earbud back, and I was like, "I'll show you."
They're literally having a pissing contest.
Meanwhile, Tilda's like actively talking. Like, wait, if two of them pee on each other, who owns what?
Who is
This is a-
asserting the dominance?
This is a very inefficient way of determining property.
Give me the ear fairy, and
Ear
I'll show
fairy.
you.
Ear fairy. Ear fairy.
And then that's
She's
not,
like
how, that's
speaking
not how
into
she
it.
works.
Ear
That's not how she
fairy.
works. Give it to me, and I'll show you.
No.
Yeah.
Ear fairy.
Here.
If they
look
pee on
like
each
this.
other,
Like,
I think
look,
it means they're married.
like this. You see the inside part of your ear? Not the point, but the inside part of your ear. You put it in like that. It's like an earworm.
What's an earworm?
It's a worm that wiggles all the way into your brain and takes over your thoughts.
Ew, that's gross. I don't
Give
want
me
your-
back
it's like
my ear
maggots.
fairy.
Is it like maggots? No, you said I could use it.
I did say you could use it.
Hi, Goblin.
You said
Do you hear the ear fairy?
Dandelion gets to use it.
Yeah. Do you hear the ear fairy?
Hi,
I
Goblin.
kind of hear the ear fairy.
Put it in
You
your
have to
ear like
put
I showed
me-
you, just like an
You have to
earworm.
put me in your ear.
So it seems like this is like an Apple like AirPod
Yeah.
type thing. So she takes the pointy end.
No. Oh, turn around. Big end goes in first.
Turn around like that. It doesn't fit anymore. Still.
Hold on. Look at me.
Huh?
And Savoy takes the other one out and shows her and puts it in their ear.
These goblins aren't very bright.
Just like that.
There's
Just like
another
that.
ear fairy. How many ear fairies do you have?
I have 2. And I'll let you keep that ear fairy if I get to keep my other ear fairy.
Ooh,
Put it in
all
your
the
ear.
goblins.
I showed you how it works. Put it in your ear. You can do it.
But you gotta share, says one of the goblins to Dandelion, as you learned her name. It's like, Dandelion gets to share if Dandelion wants to. Dandelion got it first! And she sticks it in her ear.
Hey,
and just kind of holds it there.
Hey, Goblin.
My name is Dandelion.
Hi, Dandelion. So now that I'm
That's
in
my
your
name!
yeah, now that I'm in your ear, you need to help these this person, Savoy, the pretty one. You need to help them, or
She's not that pretty. She's not a goblin. Only goblins are pretty.
Oh, just you wait.
we'll debate the finer points of aesthetics later. What you need to do is do whatever they tell you to, or I will turn into a worm and bore into your brain before you can take the thing out of your ear.
Dandelion looks scared, and then there is one that has kind of this rusty red hair that cut, like, all of them have hair over their eyes. Like, how they know where they're going, you're not sure.
Echolocation.
But
There
he
you go.
has like those, like, all of them have these horns that are pointing upward, like, are fairly long. This guy has one that's broken, and he leans over to the earworm, or I mean the ear fairy, and says, "Prove it." Dandelion's like, "No, prove it. I want to see the worm go into Dandelion's brain and eat her brain."
Can Mira
see.
cast glamours that fool goblins?
Well, let's see how you do if you're gonna cast magic.
Yes.
You'll have varying results.
Mm-hmm. What am I rolling to roll for that? Because I want to turn it
weird.
into like make it look like a worm. So Dandelion won't be able to see it, but the other goblin will be able to see it.
Perfect.
You said weird, yeah?
Yeah, plus weird.
Should be weird, yeah.
That's a 9.
Do you want to
That's
use
a
a D6 to make it a full success?
Yes.
So we have 6 of them.
Yeah, let's do it. Full success.
I refuse. I roll against you.
Ah!
Still roll the D6 though.
Okay.
Yes.
So what did I say? It was a 9.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
I got
plus
a 5.
6.
Ooh,
I got a
so 10.
6.
It's still a full success. Dang. So yeah, basically, all of a sudden, this russet-haired goblin just suddenly shrieks and, like, literally, like, grabs onto the branch of the tree and scrambles up. And Dylan's like, what?
See, I told you.
Mira can't help
Mira-
it. Mira laughs from the bush she's hiding in. It's just like this full-blown tinkling laugh, like she's having a grand time.
Dandelion is only reacting on the reaction of the other goblin, by the way.
Yeah.
So she literally is like, I don't want it anymore. You can have your earworm, and throws it at you.
Savoy catches it. Did anybody else want to try
Roll
the
under pressure
earworm?
for that one.
Oh, act under pressure.
Let's see if it ends up in the mud.
This is my worst roll. Is that another fail?
That is a fail. It literally lands in water puddle and shorts out.
Oh, that's okay.
Wah, wah.
Savoy
They're all
still
like,
picks it up
"No,
and
we're
sticks it in their
good."
pocket.
They're like, we're good. Gimli, meanwhile, has climbed up a tree and now is sitting on higher branches. Like, you can't be on Gimli up here. Besides, he was spooked by Mira because he was right by the right by the bush. So literally, Mira laughs and Gimli just takes off up the tree.
Yeet.
You know,
And he's like,
Gimli,
"You
we
can't
could
hear
make
me."
a trade. We
A
could make
trade?
You could.
Pee on you?
No. I won't climb up after you and pee on you and make you mine if you help me out.
What does human want? We do not like humans.
Oh, I understand. And that's why I'm willing to work with you. Out of character note, I don't remember our specific mission in getting to the goblins.
Or are we trying to figure out what would
Get the
work
ogre.
against the ogre? Excuse me,
Yes.
against the ogre.
In return for some information, I want to know all about your ogre friend. And if you give that information to me, I will not pee on you. You have my word.
So the russet-haired one actually climbs down, and he is pulled out kind of like this sharpened stick, and he points it at you, and he says, "We do not trust humans. You know this. You know this."
Tell the Ewok we don't trust them either.
Well, we don't trust you either. So I feel like there's a little bit of give and pull.
There's a better trade.
What's the trade?
The russet one actually gestures to everyone. You get the feeling the russet-haired one is the leader, and they all
Okay.
kind of huddle up and start talking. The russet-haired one then finally steps forward, and it's like quick talking. Like, it's very hard to understand. In fact, Savoy and Mira, you both kind of understand it, because it's in a fairy language.
Mm-hmm.
Mira, especially you. So they're talking very quick though. And finally the russet-haired one steps forward and points the spear at you again, Savoy, and says, "Your friends come out of hiding first."
Why?
Because you can't make deal if they're hiding. It's sneaky. We're the ones who sneaky here.
We can both
we
be
show-
sneaky.
We show all of
comes
us.
out.
We show all of us. Oh! They all get a little spooked. It's a man. It's a man. It's a man. It's a human man. It's a human.
Fine. So Jonas reaches into his pack that he's brought like just a bunch of different candies and stuff in. Because likes to carry candy around. He pulls out some with like the shiny like oil on it. It's like, here.
Dandelion steps forward and matches it, and then backs up behind the russet-haired one. And then Mira, are you still hiding?
No. She sighs and she she comes out.
Okay, so, all right, so, Gimli actually recognizes you. It's Gimli you ran into before. So Gimli says, you're the betrayer. The
Mira,
one who works
like-
with humans.
Mira, it's almost like a mirror of a dog snarling, but not quite as animal. It's a little more refined. She bares her teeth at him, as if that's the most repulsive thing she's ever heard.
That's what she said. She said she wanted to live in peace with humans.
I didn't say I
and
wanted
the rest
to
of-
live in peace with humans. I said I wanted to live my life in peace without them sniffing around, which I wouldn't have been able to do if you had gone rampant.
Well, we didn't. So the rest-haired one holds up a hand and he says, what if we help? Well, one, you have to tell us what you need. Why? What do you need the goblins' help for? Two, if we help, we stay.
And Savoy takes a deep breath and says, if you stay, will you leave other humans alone?
As long as they do not come on goblin land, goblins will leave alone.
You remember how this is my land? You are a guest here.
If we help, goblins live here, so therefore goblin land. Humans dangerous. Humans hurt. Humans have guns. We do not like humans. Humans stay away from goblin land.
So the humans here have been established for a very, very long time. If you move far enough into the swamp where there are no humans, humans will not bother you.
But goblins like it here, close to town.
But
Get
town has
shiny
humans,
things.
and humans
that
will
sounds
hurt
like
you.
a you problem.
Humans. If humans don't come here, it's fine. If humans see goblin out wild, it's fine.
Okay, how about this? We will negotiate territory boundaries, and according to the territory boundaries, we will come to an agreement. And I will ensure that within that agreement, humans leave you alone.
Just offer them like a bunch of quartz crystals or something. They like shiny stuff.
That's right. Who has the toys on them? Is that me? Do I have the toys on me, or did Jonas
I think
take 'em?
so.
How about, since we can't come to a specific agreement on this, in the meantime, I have a gift for you. And Savoy reaches into their bag and pulls out, is it the toy car?
Yes.
And gives it a little shake, and it gives a little bit of a rattle because it's all metal parts, and holds it up. It's kind of bigger, like that.
The
big.
last one who hasn't said very much, who's a very small goblin with like a cute little bowl cut and has like a whole bunch of like little like bows on her hair. She's the one who snatches that, and she's like, and sticks it in her mouth. And then is upset that it's not candy. Because
Who
Dandelion
asked
got
Jonas
candy.
for candy? Jonas, can you give them more candy?
Jonas gets some more candy out and holds his hand out. Here you go.
And then she scampers away and kind of like crouches behind the rest of them. Russet holds up a finger and says, you trying to distract. You tried to distract Rusty. Rusty's too smart.
Mira mutters, and it's something along the lines of, she's surprised that they were smart enough to catch on.
Rusty, we don't have to agree right now, but you have to swear on your throat that goblins will be safe from humans.
We will come to an agreement that means goblins will be safe from humans.
He holds up a hand.
And Savoy
Shake.
spits in their hand and shakes it.
This is all very unsanitary.
And like, you know how in anime, like the character's skin gets like the little
Yeah.
As soon as they shake, like Savoy's hair raises onto their arm. It's
What's
like,
especially nice about goblin saliva or goblin loogies is it's especially gooey.
That's disgusting.
And Rusty's like,
Ugh.
I, Rusty, promise that as long as you stay true to word, goblin do not have to leave new home. And if we help, but it's something we want to help on, and you're not tricking goblins, then goblins will leave you alone and help.
It
But
sounds
in
reasonable.
return, we figure out place that goblins can stay
And not be
That's
disturbed
close
by
to town.
humans.
and not be disturbed by human. That's close to town, so we can get shinies with from the human waste bins with no problem.
Okay.
So no deep. No deep. No
deep
chasing
deep.
out.
And Savoy
Deal?
just essentially repeats the agreement back at them.
Deal.
Deal.
They seem content and then let go. And we will go to break.
Woo!
There we go. It wasn't letting me type in a slash. Yeah, we're gonna go on a quick break, about 5-10 minutes. Go get some water, bio. We'll stretch your legs, whatever you need to do, and we'll be right back. And we're back.
Woohoo!
So, the goblins, they lead you to their little like campsite almost. It's a place that they've kind of put branches and leaves and moss and lichen around to absorb the water. So it's kind of a dry campground. And they have like a little fire pit that they've set up with stones and things like that. And Rusty, as he calls himself, takes the lead, leading all three of you there. And there's logs that are being used as seats, often lined with like scraps of fabric and blanket and clothes so that they're dry seats. And they even have hung clothes above as canopies so that they don't get rained on. So Rusty gestures and says, sit, and we talk.
Okay.
You know, this actually reminds me of the something I learned in anthropology about the medieval merchants that would go through Central Europe, and they didn't really have tents. And Tilda just continues rambling on about this completely barely
It's
relevant
like 8
information.
words into Tilda's sentence, and Savoy is no longer listening.
Jonas, they are definitely the most hesitant or the most concerned about you. They seem to keep an eye on you the closest. So clearly, most of their bad experiences have come from human males, or males in general. Who knows?
Oh, that sucks.
So,
Just kidding. I'm just kidding. Nothing.
okay.
I missed something there.
I think
Well,
we all
good.
missed it. It was all in Riley's head.
It was all in my head. Zombie.
Zombie. Oh man. No,
No,
not
these are
again.
goblins,
Okay.
not zombies.
Okay.
We're cranberries.
Mira, they are mostly not paying attention to you except for Gimli, since you kind of had a bad run-in with Gimli first off.
Tossed him in the trash can.
You didn't do that, but
Essentially.
Man, I threw him pretty far.
in the proverbial trash can. So
Yeah.
he's definitely wary of you, but in general, they are the most wary of Jonas. But yes, they gesture for all three of you to sit down.
Mira sits down, but she sits on the edge of the little seat as much as possible.
Okay.
Her demeanor is
so
like, nah.
Nah, fam. Do the rest of you sit down?
Yes. Savoy sits down.
Jonas?
Yeah, Jonas is just doing whatever he's told. I'm guessing he can tell he's making them more uncomfortable than everybody else. So he's just gonna...
Yeah, it's fairly obvious. Like, their body language is pretty clear. It's not like these are masters of poker or something.
Then why'd they take my candy? Just kidding.
What is happening?
If you're so nervous around me, the last thing... Did nobody teach these goblins you don't take candy to strangers?
No. Goblins.
Well, Jonas is
So-
gonna leave
They
a
were
little trail.
overlooked the stranger for the candy. Let's be real here.
Jonas
Yeah.
sits awkwardly like Connor, waiting for Hank to come.
Yes.
Oh,
Just like,
You know-
"Listen, lad."
You know, Jonas, I think maybe they're like a matriarchal society, and that's why they're so uncomfortable around you or something.
Rusty is definitely the leader, and Rusty's definitely a boy.
Tilda's trying, though.
Thanks, Doc. It's fine. It's fine. It's just
fucking
weird. 'Cause the
fine.
last time I was around goblins, like I was like a kid, so I can't imagine what like having an adult here. Probably freaking crazy.
Yeah, they definitely don't like adults. Anyways, so so Rusty stands there kind of center and says, so you lead the humans and the fairy, and points at Mira.
Who's that direct at?
Was that
Uh,
to Savoy?
Yes.
Savoy's like, looks at everybody else. It says, yeah, sure. Sure. It doesn't quite work like that, but for all intents and purposes, yes.
Mira lets
So-
that one slide.
So okay, Michael, let's be specific here. Is there a chair nearby? First off, because there's just logs. So all of a sudden they have a perfectly good chair, and there's just a rose sitting in it. No, I like the idea of it just being a random fucking kitchen chair.
They've just like run into someone's kitchen and made off with a fucking chair.
Yes, absolutely. The chair broke a leg or something, and so someone threw it out, and they just raided the dumpster and grabbed the chair. So it's like standing there awkwardly, like in the ground, like that, and there's just a rose, one lone rose, just sitting there on the chair.
The little voice in Savoy's head says, steal it. Steal it. It's like,
All right, so Rusty says, so you lead humans. What do you want the goblins' help for? You already have all the human help. And
Wait.
the one fairy.
humans don't know a lot about ogres.
All of a sudden, they all start exchanging looks at each other.
Savoy kind of is like, what?
They're like, we don't know anything about ogres. What are you talking about? We don't. Goblins don't know anything about ogres.
Mira rolls her
No.
eyes.
I'm pretty sure they're lying.
Savoy says out loud to nobody except for Tilda.
What did you say?
I'm pretty sure you're right.
Rusty says, of course I'm right. I am the leader, so therefore I'm always right.
I wasn't talking to you.
Oh, you're talking to the earworm fairy.
Yes.
So the earworm fairy is always right? What is they right about?
They is right about. It sure sounds like you're being sneaky.
We're goblins. Of course we're sneaky. This one was Dandelion. It just has that. We're goblins. Of course we're sneaky. It's how goblins survive.
Yeah,
We
but
sneak in trees. We steal things.
I'm a human. And I can be sneaky too. And we agreed that I wouldn't be sneaky.
You weren't sneaky enough to not get caught in trap. Oh!
I don't have a response. Well,
Hey,
my
We're
friends
sneaky.
who were human were sneaky enough. And I may be smart enough, but I'm not very sneaky. So they're sneaky for me. That's why the ear fairy talks to me.
So, goblins are both smart and sneaky. Goblins are superior than humans. Ah!
I have an idea, Savoy. So,
Okay.
if peeing on each other in their society means they... Whatever it is theirs, it's disgusting. maybe they have the, like, I licked it so it's mine rule too. So, like, just act like you're gonna go whisper something to one of them and then just lick them.
Okay. If this doesn't work, I'm gonna be so pissed. You brought the wrong persona to the fight.
Yep.
All right, Rusty, but you know what? You may be the superior race, but
Yes.
humans
human
have
admit.
secrets.
Wait. Secrets.
But secrets are only meant for one person to the other. Do you want to know secret?
Dandelion raises her hand and says, I want to know a secret. And Rusty pulls her hand down and says, no, I'm the leader. I learn human secrets. Okay.
But you have to come here. Because I can only whisper it to you.
Rusty gives you a long look and he says, hands away from pockets. No weapons.
No weapons.
No tricks.
No tricks.
They all turn to each other and start whispering among each other. Please roll manipulate someone. Plus charm.
Okay.
We do have 5d6, but you don't need it.
Yeah!
Oh!
I'm so much better at these charm rolls than I am at these cool rolls.
All right, so they'll do it. So as you make good. So as long as you give them the secret, they're good. So Rusty's like, fine. You tell me secrets, and he comes closer and comes close to you.
I can tell you the best dumpster in town. But you have to come even closer.
He starts moving closer.
And Savoy leads in as like the best dumpster in town and goes, to the library and licks their cheek. But also, that means you're mine because I licked you.
Rusty seems dumbfounded. He
Savoy
just kind of
is
stands
trying
there
really
and
hard not to gag.
he looks at you. He looks back at the other goblins. The other goblins are like, oh. He looks at Mira, like as if looking like, is this really a human thing? And then
Mira
he looks
does
back
not.
at his thoughts. And then he looks at Savoy and says, "Are you saying you like Rusty?"
No, I said you're mine.
Mine as in you want Rusty to be boyfriend.
Cackling. Mira's cackling like these people have never heard her before.
Tilda's
Okay, but
just like,
Rusty, do you know what a boyfriend is?
Yes, goblins have boyfriends. I mean, goblins can be boyfriends. Goblins are good boyfriends. They give gifts.
Well, if you're a good boyfriend, then you'll tell me about the ogre.
First, good boyfriend gives gift. And he goes
So
over and
Jonas,
grabs
we've
the
got some
rose.
bad news for you, buddy. Your person is being stolen out from under you, bud.
So Rusty goes and grabs the rose from the chair and holds it out to Savoy.
And Savoy, what?
I was just like, Tilda's just like, huh. This is a very odd culture. It's like this mix of different rituals and I mean, end goal. It's just as good. But yeah,
So
that's weird.
Just think about a preschooler or a kindergartner and how the world works in a kindergartner's brain, and then you're getting kind of close to how goblin culture works.
I know that. Tilda's looking at it from like this complicated anthropological mindset.
Savoy hams it up. Does like
Hi,
the
Balthazar.
eyelash batting and the, oh, you shouldn't have, but this is so sweet. So I guess I'll accept it. And for like the briefest of moments, Savoy almost looks feminine. But then
So-
it's gone, and Savoy is just androgynous all over again.
So
Yeah, that's it.
all the other goblins are like tittering amongst each other. It's like,
Good job.
And Rusty's
Use
like-
your non-binary wiles.
so
Tilda's
so
just
yeah.
pep talking in your ear.
Rusty's like, no, this is good. This is good. Maybe the prince was wrong all along. Maybe there can be peace between goblins and humans. If you're a human leader and I'm a goblin leader,
Right.
we just need to get married.
Let's talk. we'll talk about that. In human culture, your boyfriend and girlfriend first, and you
Okay.
see if it works out. And then you talk about maybe
Rusty will make
getting
sure it
married.
works. Rusty will make sure it works for today, and then we get married tomorrow.
Tell him
Invite
there's like a
friends.
long courtship ritual.
There is. Humans have a very long courtship ritual. It takes the course of several years.
Several
Mm.
years.
And
Several
there's-
years.
That's a long time.
It's a lot
Lots of
years.
rituals you have to follow.
There is. And if you don't, there's lots of Tilda Savoy briefly forgets that nobody else except for them can hear Tilda and is like, yes, there is.
So Rusty's kind of tilting his head to the side as if he's listening to something. And he says, unless you're not the human leader, it's the ear fairy that's the human leader.
Oh my god.
Then I'll marry the ear fairy.
Yes. Yes, that's so much better. And
I mean,
Savoy-
sure, what the hell?
Savoy taps their ear and says, you know what? As long as you don't displease the ear fairy in any way, shape, or form, the ear fairy will most certainly marry you.
Rusty crosses his arms and says, is the ear fairy actually a human? You must answer Rusty's question.
That's a good
Otherwise,
question.
Rusty will not question.
Well,
No, Rusty will
if
not
I was
answer your
a-
question if you do not answer Rusty's question.
If I was a human, how would I fit in this little box?
Yeah, Rusty, if the ear fairy was a human, how would they fit in this tiny little contraption I have? I mean, that contraption is them. But the ear fairy does lead me.
So either
Also, his distrust
Rusty.
displeases me.
And your distrust displeases the ear fairy. If only you could hear.
Rusty meets the real ear fairy and marries the real ear fairy, or Rusty marries you.
Several years of courtship rituals. Or
If
the
it
ear
means
fairy.
goblins stay. If it means goblins stay. If it means goblins are left alone by humans.
We already agreed that goblins could stay if you helped us. No marriage was a part of that to begin with. That was the original agreement, remember?
Human, you must understand the situation. Fairies, our people, were kicked out of this land. We were taken far away into a place that was dark and scary and led by a ruthless prince. We do not want to stay there no more. We want to stay here. It's nice and bright. You have toys for goblins. You have sweets.
Savoy reaches in and shows just a little bit of the second toy and puts it back in. There are definitely toys for goblins. You are being sneaky and you're changing the deal of the contract.
Goblin's not changing anything.
You're adding more weight to your contract. We originally agreed.
No. I help with this, but I explain big picture.
And the
goblins,
big picture.
The big picture is if goblins can prove that humans can live with goblins and fairies, then there doesn't have to be a war. We do not have to be soldiers for the prince.
Rusty, I have another idea for you.
What's this?
Forget the boyfriend thing. Forget the marriage thing. Though you are very lovely and very kind, please don't get me
Rusty
wrong.
knows.
I have an idea that would prove...
Rusty has the softest skin.
I believe that. I licked you.
Yes, you did.
I can prove...
You said you liked Rusty first. That's what you said.
I do like Rusty. I licked Rusty. I can prove to you that goblins can live with humans. But it takes time to prove those things. And time is a very rich commodity right now.
That's the human courtship years ritual.
Correct. But I might be able to offer you something even better.
What is better than freedom?
This is a part of freedom. This is showing that while you are free, you can coexist with other humans. Do you think you could coexist with me?
You say you want us to live with you?
I'm getting to that.
The more talk there is about coexisting with humans and being buddy-buddy with humans and getting along with humans, Mira seems to be getting more and more agitated from where she's
Just
sitting.
disgusted.
Well, not even just disgusted. She looks like she's getting a bit heated, actually. Like she does not look like she's in a good headspace.
Ghibli has definitely noticed. And is not interested. It is like making sure to stay far away from you. But
you scary lady.
Goblin Rusty's like
I can give you a place to live that is with humans where you have access to all the shiny dumpsters that you want. But
Rusty's listening.
I need, before we even get to that, I need to know how to take care of the ogre troll thing.
The smallest goblin actually speaks up. If we make deal with you, If we do what you want, what if he finds out? Then goblins are real in trouble.
This
Rusty seems a bit nervous.
this prince that you talked about?
Don't talk so lightly about Prince. Just say he.
Is he here?
We don't know. Could be.
But isn't he part of the last world that you left?
The Dandelion's actually the one who speaks up this time, and she says, yes, but he can come here.
Lily referred to the voice as the prince, right? When
Yes.
yeah. Okay, no comment from Mira. Just wanted to refresh.
So Savoy leans in and says, if we can figure out how to take care of this ogre troll, I'm sure that we can figure out a way to protect you from him.
And you promise?
Only if you help us take care of the ogre troll.
They all turn back to each other and they do this thing that you've seen them do a couple times where they deliberate with one another. Back and forth really quickly. And then finally Rusty turns back. He's like, okay, if you promise, then we'll help.
I do promise.
So Rusty at that point, he kind of crouches and he says, it's ogre. You were right first time. Ogre guardian of dark forests. Very tame spirit until the prince decided to use goblin as a weapon. Tells goblins to poke him with sticks as he blindfolded Ralov up. We poke him with stick. He gets angry. Gets really angry. Prince pushes him out rift into world to take anger on humans. He's angry. He's hurt. He's lost. Goblin's job is to keep him angry.
Are you the only goblins that are here?
For now.
So only you are the ones that are making it angry?
It's angry enough now.
How do we make it not angry?
Maybe it needs like a Snickers or something. I mean, it's just like hangry.
We can give it candy.
Ogre trusts goblins. That's why goblins can make ogre angry. But it's not just ogre. It's not just goblins that ogre likes. Ogre likes
I swear, if he says onion, I'm gonna lose it.
small people like goblins.
Like children?
Is that what you call small humans?
Yes.
Young humans, yes. Small young humans.
And Savoy darts a look at Mira, because Mira's the only one that has contact with the child.
Mira is still in her fuming state. and gives no indication that she knows anything about Savoy's look whatsoever.
And Savoy kind of narrows their eyes and is like, fine, we can figure a small human out.
Other things about goblins. And Daddy Lane's the one to speak up this time. It's like, ogres. Ogres are slow. Very slow. Ogre's stronger in forest. Ogre's stronger in forest. Ogre is useless if limbs tied. That's how Prince kept and made the ogre mad.
Can we send the ogre back through the rift that you mentioned?
Rusty actually shrugs. He says, don't know where rift is.
Damn it.
They open, they close. We don't know. The prince don't know either.
So
That's why there's not more goblins.
How can we, as adult humans, help calm the ogre down?
You're adult humans. You can't calm the ogre down.
But only children can.
Small humans, small people, small, tiny souls,
Okay.
light hearts, light souls, innocence.
These things
That's
definitely are not innocent.
No. I think we have more thinking to do.
That's all goblins can say.
Savoy is kind of at a loss right now. So Savoy says, I think we're going to need to think up an action plan. If this works with the information that you gave us, I promise I will hold true to what I told you.
Rusty actually gets a kind of sneaky grin, and he's like, if it doesn't work, it's your fault, not Goblin's fault.
That's fine. That's
I
fine.
have an idea.
What?
No.
Yes, you're a fairy. What's your idea?
No, never mind. There's no way we could train a monkey that fast.
I don't even know why I asked, Hilda.
All right, so you guys now have a lot of information and a lot that you have to think about. Do you guys leave? Do you guys ask goblins more questions? What do you do?
I'm currently out of questions, guys.
Yeah, no, Mira doesn't have anything to say to the goblins.
She's like, she's over it.
She's busy fuming.
Well, all I can say is that this rusty fellow's not doing a very good job of courting.
So that maybe you have a better chance.
The ear fairy is very displeased.
Jonas
What does ear? Huh?
Sorry. Jonas is going to speak up now. He's going to ask, wait, what do you mean if goblins and humans can get along, there won't be a war?
Well, Dandelion actually pauses, and she's about to say something, but Gimli speaks up. It's like, well, maybe we could prove the prince wrong. And the goblins will make peace between worlds. Goblins can become the future.
Mira snorts. No comment. She just snorts.
But, and then Gimli continues, actually looking over at Mira. But that's if we're looking at the bright side. We all know that actually war is inevitable.
And Savoy just takes a really deep breath, brows knit together. It doesn't add anything else.
So, Rusty, I think the goblins, Rusty was going to say something, but then Jonas interrupted. So Rusty is now more focused on the comments that Gimli was saying. So the goblins are out of things to say. So Rusty's like, well, goblins need to speak now. We need to make plans. If you need goblins' help for something else, you can find goblins. But or goblins will find you. Either way. If you die, don't find us, though.
Okay.
Well, this guy's just really blown it for as far as his chances with the ear fairy.
What does your fairy want Rusty to do? Rusty is being Rusty. Isn't being true self and not pretending to be anything else the first step of a good relationship?
No,
your
that's
fairy,
terrible advice.
Rusty's not wrong. I disagree, Ear Fairy.
How far away is Mira from Jonas?
How
was that?
far is... I would assume that Mira's actually...
Oh, yeah. Are they sitting right next to each other or no?
Yeah.
Okay, so Jonas is just going to randomly lean over and lick Mira's face.
What?
Mira,
Oh my
Mira
God.
just Mira's face goes through so many emotions in like the blink of an eye. First there's just pure shock, then disgust, then a little bit of anger, and then just more shock. And she just slowly turns her face towards Jonas and she just hisses at him and she's like, "What was that?"
Rusty gives, like, Jonas this, like, awestruck look. Like, you want to marry the red cap?
No, I was just...
You're brave. You're brave, brave soul. Goblin respects.
You seemed a little bit frustrated. I thought you could use a laugh. I think I overstepped, but...
Mira, like, puts her hand to her face and, like, wipes where Jonas licked her, and she just looks at her hand, just disgusted.
Jonas, I'm the most awkward ever when it comes to relationships, and I know not to do that.
The most fearsome of fairies. We respect. You are truly the most knight, the most soldier, the most warrior out of all the humans.
Mira looks up at Jonas.
Thank you.
To
and
pursue
her eyes just
such
flash.
noble, scary.
Her eyes are just flat.
No, they flash like in Mira's Fae form. Basically, the whole eye is black, and then it's just the pupil that's color.
Okay.
So just momentarily, like that is what he sees flash through her face. Like her eyes go for a minute, and then they're human again.
We wish you luck in this fearsome venture.
Jonas will remember that.
So will Mira.
And then Jonas turns to Rusty and is like,
you know how kids in like parades will just like all like fall over each other to get it? That's basically what the goblins do. So
I think Tilda takes this opportunity to talk to Savoy and says, so you were asking about the whole, like, you know, honesty and it's the best route to go, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't have any secrets, do you?
And Savoy just laughs out loud. I'm not gonna answer that.
Okay.
Mira's
All right.
hands are twitching.
So, with that
Oh,
venture
God.
done, do you guys meet up back at the plantation?
Yeah, we
talk
would
to
head
Tilda.
back to the plantation.
On the way there, Jonas is going to attempt to apologize to Mira, be like, hey, listen, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Mira looks at
Yeah,
Jonas. She kind of smiles at him a little bit, and it's one of those where her eyes are not in it. Like it's
God.
scary.
No.
And she looks at him and she says very softly, and her voice is almost like really sickly sweet. Like it seems too calm. And she's just like, if you would like to keep your tongue, I suggest you close your lips.
Well,
Yeah,
nice.
and then,
Nods and backs away.
Yep, she goes about her business. She feels like that's adequate.
Mira
Hey.
is so much meaner than Savoy is. I'm just gonna say.
I love
It
it.
depends on who you are.
That is very true.
Personally, I ship it. What? What? Hold on, what?
Do we
I have a
want to
feeling-
get the Mira Jonas ship going? Is that what we're doing?
Oh yeah, I'll be the first shipper.
I have a feeling this is going to be like a
Choo-choo.
whole port of ships
Gangbang.
by the
What?
time. Rowan,
Big-
no. I mean,
Big, scary
maybe we'll
GS
see. It would be a
and
veil,
small-
but
Yes, it would be. Anyways,
Okay.
so so you guys make it back. Mira, are you in the passenger seat again, or are you taking the back?
Yeah, no, she doesn't want to sit in the back with Jones because she might murder him.
Well, Jonas would sit in the front if you didn't, but
Okay, good. Well, either way, she sits in the front because she thinks that she might have to sit in the back with him.
oh, there you go.
And Savoy
Alright.
doesn't say anything on the car ride. And they get back and walk in to Tilda. And like Savoy looks haggard, like exhausted, the lines under the eyes, just kind
Tilda,
of thing.
Tilda looks a lot more alert and a little less high. And probably a little in pain, but I think Tilda's gonna decide to like back off the painkillers because they make her drunk, basically. But she will like hold up a thermos to Savoy and go, "You look like you could use some coffee."
And Savoy
Which
takes
for Tilda, she's sharing her coffee, which is kind of a big deal for Tilda.
Aww. Savoy takes it, not overtly gracious, but in a quiet thankfulness, and sips at it, and then hands it back to Tilda, and pulls out their flask, and drinks from that too, and makes like a face like, oh. Puts the cap back
Those two
on.
things don't go well together.
Depends on what's in the flask.
It's not alcohol.
Okay, that probably not.
It's vinegar.
It's something. It's
Vinegar,
something.
you pussy.
Oh my gosh. Just takes the thermos back and caps it and just like, okay. And it's just, for Tilda, it's a decent sized smile. For a normal person, it would just be like a slight grin.
So everybody else goes into Tilda's room, right? So we can figure out our final plan.
Sure.
By the way, Mira,
Mm-hmm.
need to remind you, you haven't mentioned the book or have gone looking for the book at all.
Correct.
Okay. Double check me
Mira-
on that.
Mira didn't mention the prince either.
She
No.
did not.
So everybody's gathered around and Savoy kind of like slicks their hair back and gives kind of like the earth heavy sigh and says, I think I have an idea of how to subdue the ogre. However, with what the goblins told us, it sounds like we have an even bigger threat standing out there. Somebody that wants and is actively trying to incite a war between us and them.
Sounds like some sort of spooky prince.
Oh no. For those of you who don't know, Spooky Prince is a reference to a character, one of my characters from One Shot. A boy witch.
It's a joke that has layers. Like
Like
ogres.
an onion.
Exactly.
Oh god.
Oh, I mean,
noted.
do we really want to put a child in front of that thing?
I don't.
So, remind me, Savoy and Jonas, did you see Lily there before Mira pulled her away?
Jonas
Or
did.
did?
And Jonas told Savoy.
Right. So, let's see if there's a recall option or something. Something close to it. Let's do.
Probably sharp.
Roll plus sharp, Jonas. Sure.
Can I use a d6? I'm going to use a d6.
Go for it.
Are you effing kidding me?
What?
7.
7.
With a
Big success.
D6?
2 of them were 1s.
Oh. Oh, goodness.
Oh boy, that's some bad luck, friend. So okay, mixed success. You do recall something about Lily. And how for a moment the monster seemed calmer, but you're not positive what that was. You also recall the monster reaching out for Lily. As far as you know, he was going to eat her.
Jonas relays this information. Thank you, Gwen. I'm glad that someone does because most of the party's mad at him.
I love Jonas as a player.
So do I.
I know, but like the actual party is like Jonas keeps stepping on toes.
Yeah,
So-
but you have to realize that right now Mira might be angry that he licked her face, but the only direction that this trope can go in is that eventually Jonas will end up being her favorite human.
Of course.
That's
I'll
the
say-
only acceptable plan of action.
Tilda doesn't hate Jonas. Like, she just kind of
No,
looks at Jonas.
and Tilda get on pretty well.
Yeah.
Savoy kind of. I feel like Savoy and Jonas have this relationship of like, this person is coming along with me.
It's like the good cop, bad cop relationship.
Yeah.
So,
Basically, it's Rush Hour.
yeah.
Jonas is Jackie Chan.
Wow.
Hold on. I don't think I could picture Savoy as what's his name? Chris Tucker?
I can't either. But it's funny.
I think it might be swapped.
Oh my.
So Savoy clears their voice and says, as of right now, I can't imagine putting any child in danger up against the ogre because I cannot guarantee their safety, and we've already had children deaths on our land. So our best course of action, because we don't have a child that will communicate with it, and we don't have any proof that a child can communicate with it, is to lure it out and capture it and subdue it.
Now, I should say, Mira, you do know from your conversations with Lily that Lily can subdue it. That she has absolutely said, like, the
Yes.
ogre is usually nice.
Right.
But you're not offering any of this information, correct?
Correct. And I'll tell you kind of a little bit of an insight. So the way Mira is seeing it right now is she does not want to help humans. So I guess that's kind of more so why she was getting agitated with all this talk of trying to make peace with humans. And that all comes from where she comes from. It's very much ingrained in her that she does not like human beings. So right now she's more so collecting information to decide on what to do with it. She wants to have a full picture of what's happening, and she's kind of piecing all of these little puzzle bits together. So she has kind of an idea of what's going on, and she's not quite sure how she wants to proceed yet. She doesn't know if she really even wants to help them subdue this ogre yet. She's pretty much just collecting this series of information, and then she's going to decide what to do with it.
Okay, that's fair. Good character insight. Thank you.
I have an idea.
And Savoy turns to Tilda.
What if didn't Mira, didn't you do some weird thing to the earbud and made it look like a worm?
Mira looks up and in Savoy's direction, because she feels like Savoy might be the one to kind of fool her up with this. But anyway, she says yes, and it's very kind of like a tight, like yes, and she doesn't offer anything else.
Oh, could we like disguise or hide one of us as like make us look like a child?
Potentially, yes.
Well, there you go. That would solve the problem. And then Tilda puts her finger on the tip of her nose, as if to say, "Not it," for the one who gets disguised.
It's like, I'm not facing that motherfucker again.
Yeah.
Savoy points at Jonas.
Well, this works out great because Jonas is going to volunteer. Jonas, like, cheaply side eyes Mira because he can tell that she is very PO'd with him, and he's just kind of like, yeah, I'll do it.
Mira doesn't look at him. She's just like, yeah, great, awesome. Looks at her fingernails.
Okay. So, you know kind of what a plan is, but where is this going to happen? How are you going to lure the thing out?
So Savoy pulls out maps, old family maps of the forests, and points to the light spots in the forest where it shows where the clearing, like there are clearings and where things get sparse. And he puts a big X on where where they had seen the ogre. So there's a couple of X's of where the ogre was. Then points to the nearest clearing and says, if we can lure the ogre into this clearing, we can wrap it up with ropes, pull it down, and subdue it. We can calm it. The only exception to this would be if there is a way to calm the ogre into sleep somehow using the Jonas kid, whatever it is. That's all I've got as far as taking it down, because that thing nearly took my head off and it hospitalized Tilda. I don't think we can fight it head on. We have to think of a way of wrapping it up in ropes.
Does Mira
Also-
know if she would have any effect on its temperament? Like, as like a fae? Does she know if she would set that off, or?
Roll plus sharp for me.
On a side note, I could also order a shit ton of tranquilizers.
Oh, damn. Ooh, that's actually not a bad idea, but I'm...
Oh, that's a 6.
We might need to, like, I don't know, make them like cold iron or silver pokey bits on them.
Puncture its skin.
It was
But good news, I
pretty
get an
tough skin.
improvement.
Ooh,
Hey.
you've leveled up, eh?
Yeah.
All right. So Mira, you have no clue. Like, from what you can tell, like, ogres are not the smartest. They aren't the most intelligent beings. It's not like the goblins that will recognize you as a fae right away. So that's as much as you can gather from a failure.
Great.
There's not really anything else I can do to make a hard move here.
Yeah.
So you really stay quiet as you're thinking about this. All right. So you guys continue deliberating. Come up with a concrete plan. I have to pee. I'll be right back.
So I will put the order in for tranquilizers. We'll get them within 2 days. As a fail-safe for the ogre. And Miss Mira will provide a bit of her magic to cloak Jonas. We're going to have to track it down. I can assume that it's going to be within the area of its attacks, but we can't put a head on it yet. And I don't know if tracking technology tracks fairies.
I don't know. There's not really much of a record of that happening in the books that I have. But imagine, you know, it wrecked my boat pretty quickly and tore up trees and stuff. So, I mean, it's probably not going to be that hard to track down. Just follow the trail of destruction, I would imagine.
Hmm.
Hello, I'm back.
Hi.
So the plan is tranquilizers, luring out to a clearing.
Oh, and this is a little boy again. Just to be
Jonas
over.
gets a little. May I note that Mira didn't necessarily agree to that, but that's what you're assuming, yes.
She
Also,
kind of gave a little bit of a kind of whatever.
Also, Savoy, I may need to talk to you privately later.
Savoy gives Tilda a look and says, "Of course."
I mean, how privately? I'm.
So
Jonas, when somebody says privately, they usually mean one-on-one.
Right.
Tilda just like glances at Jonas and rolls her eyes like the way an older sister when she's making plans to go out with her friends and her little brother tries to tag along. Like, that's the look on Tilda's face. She's like, that means without you here, I also just me
Right.
and Savoy.
More private than this. Got it.
Yes.
Well, I'm gonna go back to my motel.
Okay.
I will see you guys when I see you guys.
Have you guys actually made a plan of when you're going to meet up and do the showdown?
The tranquilizers will be here in 2 days, so assume that everybody will meet here in 2 days.
I should be back on my feet by then, I think.
Okay. Fabulous. So do you guys want to do your private conversation? Mira, I assume you leave as well?
Yes.
Here's like, I'm out, guys. Fuck you all. Savoy, 100% canon, believes that Mira is not going to show up in 2 days.
You guys are playing a game of Russian roulette. Take bets. Everybody take their bets. Is Mira going to show up? Who knows? Stay tuned to find out.
Yeah.
Make people bet guild coins.
There you go. Place your bets,
really funny.
ladies and gents.
All right.
Guys,
well, let's
gals.
finish up with this conversation between Tilda and Savoy.
Okay. So Tilda kind of waits for a minute, like listening to the footsteps leaving away from the door, and then looks to Savoy. So it's like soundproof in here, right?
For all intents and purposes, yes. Just don't shout.
I rarely shout. I just want to make sure that certain people that were just in here can't overhear anything.
Perhaps give it 2 more minutes.
That seems like a good idea.
Can you just imagine them just sitting there in silence, like elevator music going in the background,
Well, like,
as they look around and like twiddle their thumbs and.
Well, before Tilda talks, Savoy actually gets on the phone with their head servant and is like, I just want to make sure that our party has been seen off the premise. Is this correct? And I mean, as long as everybody left, there would be a yes.
Yeah, Mira gone.
She gone. Fool.
You go.
Okay. Once the boy's done with the phone call, like, while Tilda's still sort of waiting down the clock a little bit, so this isn't what I wanted to talk to you about, but just a side note. I was really high earlier. I may have said some things that I don't quite remember.
That's okay. We'll just let
Probably
them
phrased things oddly. But I think you're great.
Thank you, Tilda. Thank you.
Okay.
Was it that you wanted to talk about?
No, that's just... I don't care if somebody overheard that. So the thing that I wanted to talk to you about. Pretty sure I heard on the earbud call thing that the goblins called Mira a redcap. Did I hear that right?
I think you did, if
Yes.
I'm remembering correctly.
So, if any of the stories are even half true, that's going to be one we want to keep an eye on. They have a tendency to murderize people of various races to survive.
Murderize. That's the proper. That's Tilda's college degree right there. PhD.
Murderize.
Murderize.
Savoy takes a deep breath and says, Tilda, I've seen the ugliest parts of humanity, and we're willing to do the same thing to each other.
Some of us.
Not all of us, but some of us are. And to expect that any of us are above that would be foolish on my part.
Okay, fair, but I am just saying we don't have to kill each other to not die, for like, technically speaking.
I mean, I agree. And the gesture that Savoy gives you is almost like there's something else there. I agree. And I will keep an eye on Mira.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying we just completely distrust her and, shun her out of hand. I just learned all of this stuff was actually real, so I'm sort of getting my bearings here, but I do know the Redcaps and the books that I read were particularly vicious, so just as
If you can
caution.
if you could compile a dossier on what you know about Redcaps, that would help us a great deal. I'm sure that Mira has every reason to make the choices that she does. And I'm sure they're all very valid reasons. But if we could have an edge on those reasons, it would help us.
That's kind of what I was thinking. I mean, like, I wouldn't begrudge I don't know, a big fish for eating a small fish because it's what they have to do to live. But I just want to make sure I'm not the small fish. Is all I'm saying. So that's a good idea. I'll see what I can find.
Sounds good. Was there anything else you wanted to talk about?
I think that was it. Just wanted to, make sure anything I said that was weird was clarified, and then it was mainly to talk about Mira.
I take everything that you said with a grain of salt. You are of medication. I did review your prescriptions since I was the one ordering them. I understand.
Okay.
And
Appreciate it.
Savoy stands up and gives Tilda a little pat on the shoulder before walking out.
Nice.
Tilda actually gives Savoy a proper smile.
Oh,
Oh,
cute.
Was that a aw from Riley or a, oh no, this shit? Oh
it was all like cute.
And then Tilda goes back to on her keyboard,
no. Oh yes.
looking things up.
Until she passes out.
Yeah, pretty much.
Probably. All right. And I think that's where we're going to end up and tonight.
Awesome. That was great.
Next time will be the showdown with the ogre.
Yay!
Woot.
All right, fabulous.
So,
All right. Take it away.
favorite parts. Well, let's start with you, Rowan. What was your favorite part, and where can we find you next?
Oof. I definitely enjoyed playing the goblins and just the whole "I'll pee on you."
That was hilarious.
Don't pee on Ghibli. I will. No. And just that whole exchange as I figure out what to do with Savoy. So, yeah.
Savoy works themselves into a relationship and out of the relationship.
Amazingly. So next I will be back on Saturday to play Vinny in the Badlands game. You can find the rest of what I'm doing and what I'm up to and my social media and things like that on my website, which is rowannorthillustrations.org, and I'll put that in the chat. This direction? I don't remember that direction. I don't know. It's mirrored. Anyways. So yeah, so please check that out. And there's also a section with all the Tickfaw files, art and stuff so far. So please check out my website. So yeah.
All right. Fantastic. And next we've got Vanessa. What was your favorite part? And where can we find you online? Anything that you're working on that you want to share? Any of that good stuff?
Gosh, there are always so many good parts to every session. Maybe I'm a little biased in saying the whole licking fiasco. I think it's hilarious. Rather enjoyed that. We'll see what happens as a result. My bet, in case any of you in the chat were taking bets, my bet is that they become good friends. Watch out for that one. Other than that, you can catch me for the next game here. And then you can also catch me on Twitter. And my handle is Peppero Draws, and that's Peppero like the candy.
Okay. Yasmin, what was your favorite part? Where can we find you online? All that good stuff.
I had so many favorite parts. My favorite part, I think, is Jonas this time around, just because I feel like Jonas is the true anarchist of the group. Because in true anarchist fashion, Jonas defies everything that everybody else is kind of assumed as the rules. And I think that's pretty cool.
That's amazing.
The only other thing that I enjoyed it all, but the other thing that I enjoyed was just how angry Mira gets. Just like the true character being played, and just like, I mean, it's not entirely beneficial to what we're trying to do as characters in a group, but I think that it adds so much crazy story and so much diversity that it's not so black and white, and I absolutely love that. That's my favorite. And then you can find me, I will be here next week at Monster of the Week, and then you can also, I will be March, I will be at Wild Wild West Con doing a couple of panels. So if you're there, hit me up.
Cool.
But other than that, I'm just a bum.
I just gotta say, there is a reason why you guys are on my dream team when it comes to GMing for you. Like, I was always such, like, when Vanessa wasn't sure if she could join us, I was like, no! So I'm very glad that she's here.
We make it work.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I'm happy to be here playing with you guys as well. It's super fun.
I'd like to
Yay.
say that I have never played with a group of characters that has been so wildly different in their goals as we are. And I freaking love it.
That's amazing. Yes.
It is
It
pretty
is
great.
delightful.
Even if it's a pain to get you all together in one place.
It's true.
Well, we can't make your job too easy, Rose, so don't worry about it.
Apparently.
We got
well, Riley, what was your favorite part? Where can we find you next? All that good stuff.
My favorite part, honestly, there's so many. I loved when Savoy was bartering with the goblins to piss on them. That was fantastic. And also, yeah, just like that moment where I'm like, oh, well, Jonas is doing a thing. Jonas is just going to lick Mira. And just like me as the player, like having to be like, oh crap, like what? How do I deal with this?
When your character takes over for you.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. But it's just so much fun playing with everybody. Like I agree with what Quinn said. Like just all the different characters and everybody's layers, not just the ogres. And
We are all onions at heart.
we are
Yeah.
all onions at heart. You can find me next online here on Saturday for Badlands. And then also I have a shawl pattern. I don't know if anybody here knits or goes to yarn stores, yarn shows, but if there's anybody out there who does, Stitches West, I have a pattern making its debut over there.
Oh, cool.
Very cool.
Very cool. Awesome. Well, for me, my favorite part, probably when Tilda was like, well, hey, you know, if peeing on each other is how they do ownership, try doing the whole, like, there, I licked it, so it's mine. And just, like, the chaos that initiated.
Just all of a sudden licking, and seriously, Rusty's convinced that Savoy likes him.
Yeah. So that was fun. And then also getting to see Tilda, like, soften up a little bit. Not a ton, but yeah, just not quite as harsh with everyone. That was kind of cool. We'll see if that lasts once the drugs completely wear off or not, but it was fun. So yeah, I think those were my favorite parts. And then where you can find me next, I probably am not going to be doing any streaming tomorrow. We'll see about R&R. It depends on how Rowan and my day goes, I guess, because I know we're both busy right now.
I'm
but
less busy and more sick, but you know.
Yeah. But as for what's after that, so Friday, 1 p.m. Mountain Time, I believe is the correct time. I will be over on Encounter Roleplay as Senior Chief Petty Officer Ro Alana in their Star Trek game. That's going to be a lot of fun. There's some super talented people in that cast, and I am super thrilled to be a part of it. And then, of course, for 7 p.m. Mountain Time, Friday night will be the debut of Water, a new tabletop that I've been working on, heavily inspired by Subnautica, using the fundamental RPG system sort of heavily modified to fit this literal new world. So that's going to be really exciting. And then, of course, Saturday at 7 p.m. for Legends of the Badlands. But we're going to go on a raid. We're going to go say hi to some folks that I don't think we've ever raided before. And that is Perception Studio. It's a really cool channel, cool concept. It's D&D with puppets. So it's like, I haven't watched a whole episode yet, but from what I've seen, the little bit of it, it's kind of like Sesame Street does D&D is kind of what it looks like. So it's pretty cool. Check it out. Give them a follow. They are super nice people. I've talked to them a couple times before. And then, yeah, I will see you all on Friday. Bye.